Hey, what's going on YouTube listeners and subscribers? You're watching KBTV where knowledge is born, and I'm King David. Salutations and greetings. How y'all doing today? Today I want to talk about the African genome, okay, and the pH levels in the body, and also alkaline versus uh, neutral and acidy, okay. So let's go ahead and get started on that for the segment for today, and let's go ahead and jump right on into it. All right. And genome, by the way, is basically the gene or genetic material uh, properties that make up the cell or microorganism. All right. So basically, your genetics. All right. Let's go ahead and jump right on into it. The African genome is the foundation of the genetic structure of all Homo sapiens. During the evolution of the Homo sapien, the African migrated out of Africa. Changes in the environment and eating habits mutated the gene and introduced various illness into the genetic structure. The heavy reliance on meat-centered diets was the main culprit for this change. Presently, meat-centered diets supported the proliferation of disease. Diets centered on the consumption natural alkaline plant foods support the healthy expression of the African genome because they had chemically affinity with it. Chemical affinity means the body naturally recognized the food, so it digests. So its digestion didn't produce harmful byproducts that compromise the body. Dr. Sebi developed a method of healing that focused on providing the body with foods and herbs that had chemical affinity with the body. This promoted an environment in the body that was inhospitable to disease. Okay, so you guys should know about Dr. Sebi by now. He passed away about a couple of years ago. Very good man. Healed people, was a teacher, healer, doctor, without having to go to school and get all the paperwork and PhD and documents and all that stuff. And he also got prosecuted for it because of that. But once he was able to prove that he healed over 100 people, or at least he brought 70 with him, 77 people with him to his trial that he won in 1985 in Supreme Court, okay? So look up Dr. Sebi if you guys don't know about that. But he basically explains the same thing, which is about the African biomineral diet, okay? So moving on. The African biomineral balance consists of herbs and plant foods that naturally alkalize the body to best support the healthy expression of the African genome in all people. Okay. The African biomineral balance first surfaced in 1988 in the Supreme Court of New York. The African biomineral balance is a therapeutic approach that addresses disease on two levels. Dr. Sebi refers to this method as either the African biomineral balance or the African biobalance. It first cleanses the body of acidity in the intracellular level that compromises the mucous membrane or organs in their health. The breakdown of the protective mucous membrane allows disease to compromise organs and to proliferate throughout the body. The African biomineral balance also revitalizes cells by supplying minerals lost through the consumption of acid foods, including meat, dairy, processed, GMO, and hybridized foods. The African biomineral balance is the balance of 102 minerals that properly supports electrical activity and health in the body. The body uses the minerals to supply electricity to run all of its functions. Okay, remember the body's electricity. All right, we got electrical neurons in our neural network center that's sending electrical signals in electronic waves through the brain. All right, remember your body's made of electrons. Remember we are the atom. All right, and remember, melanin is just a fancy name for carbon. You have to eat carbon alkaline-based foods in order to support the African biomineral diet, our genome. Okay. Natural or native plants have an alkaline base and were designed by nature to supply these minerals and other compounds to support the healthy expression of the African genome. Meat, dairy, processed, and hybridized foods have an acid base and contain compounds that acidify the body and threaten the alkalinity of the blood. Okay? So if your pH level drops past neutral, all right, because neutral is 7.0. Alkaline is anything 7.4 or 7.5 and above. Acidity is anything below the neutral. Okay, so if you're always in the acidity state, then it will seep into the blood. Okay, and then some of that blood is going to turn into water because it's being consumed by the acid. So the blood must maintain a pH level of 7.4 or higher to avoid metabolic acidosis occurs when there is a sudden drop in pH that can result in shock or death. All right. You naturally support this alkaline condition in the blood by consuming natural alkaline foods. When you consume acid foods, acid compounds go into the bloodstream and threaten to drop its pH. Like I just stated, if your pH level drops, it's going to get into the bloodstream. That's going to throw your body into shock or, like it said, death. The body was designed with natural buffering systems to prevent metabolic acidosis. These systems put alkaline compounds into the blood to counter-react acid compounds. When you constantly consume acid foods, you overwhelm the body's natural defense against acid foods. The body will resort to stripping alkaline material like calcium from bones and from fluids throughout the body to put into the blood. The health of the blood is the body's primary concern because the blood supplies oxygen and nutrients to the entire body, you guys. When the pH of the blood drops, oxygen takes over the blood. This interferes with the proper oxygenation and reduces hemoglobin and red blood cells. This also interferes with the blood's ability to deliver nutrients to cells throughout the body. Okay, so pH level drops. Okay, the blood can no longer produce the natural oxygen that it needs to produce throughout the body. Instead, hydrogen is being produced throughout in the blood. All right, and this creates problems, and the body's not receiving the nutrients that needs to go to the cells throughout the body, you guys. All right. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna stop right there, but let's go ahead and talk about the pH levels in the body right fast. So I want to talk about that. All right. Jumping right on to it. I already have things written down here for you. So the body pH levels. All right, we're going to start with saliva. Number one. The pH levels is 6.5 to 7.5. All right. And it takes a minute for food to digest through that part. And while it's digesting, the pH levels should be 6.5, 7.5. Number two is upper stomach, which is your upper abdomen, 4.0 to 6.5. That's going to take 30 to 60 minutes to digest. Number three is the lower stomach. Now this is 1.5 to 4.0. Okay, it takes 1 to 3 hours to digest. Now this is where the acid part is, because you got to have a little bit of acid in your stomach to digest the things that you're eating. All right. Duodenum is the first part in the small intestines past the stomach. Is 7.0, 8.5. It takes 30 to 60 minutes. Okay. Then once it gets past there, it's in the small intestines, number 5, and that's 4.0 to 7.0, 4.0 to 7.0 pH level. It takes 1 to 5 hours. Then number 6 is your large intestine. That's the last one. 4.0, 7.0 pH level, 10 hours, between 10 hours and several days to digest. All right. Like I talked about in In my video, I believe it was keeping the body clean, and I talked about how it takes 3 days to a week for meat to digest. It's not even digesting. It's just sitting in your reservoir, okay? And food that doesn't digest, it will create bacteria because it's molding. It's rotting in your body, and creating illness and diseases, and you don't know why. And then you go to the doctor, and they prescribe you with stuff that is a chemical. It's not natural. So your body's not going to naturally cure itself anyway. It's just going to temporary work, like putting a Band-Aid on a deep wound. You need stitches and stuff. All right, so let's wise up, eat better. Okay. If you know how to grow your own food, that's even better. But if not, at least go to the stores and start shopping better. Also watch my video, Nutrition Facts, and when to eat, what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat. That's another good video, you guys. All right. Now, we talked about alkaline. Alkaline is 7.5 or higher. Neutral is 7.0. Neutral is okay, as long as you're not acidy. Okay. Now, when you know you're acidy, one of the good signs is like when you have heartburn or you burp up and you got that acidy, throat-y feeling in your throat and it burns. That's acid burning from your stomach, and it's up to, and you burped it out. It's letting you know your body's acidy. Other signs could be weakening of bones, toothaches, infections. Okay, because when you're in an acidy state, this causes inflammation. Okay, in the body, which will be an infection, and then the diseases break out. Okay, so we discussed the genome, the African genome. Okay, a lot of stuff that Dr. Sebi was talking about. Okay, along with the body pH levels in the saliva, upper stomach, lower stomach, the duodenum, the small intestine, and large intestine. We talked about the acid levels, which is neutral, and what's alkaline, and what you need to eat, which is plant-based alkaline foods. All right. Like I said before, dinosaurs mostly, I'm gonna say 85-90% of dinosaurs didn't eat meat. They ran up to a tree, ate it, got all the nutrients and minerals they needed. All right, the body needs 102 minerals. We need plant-based foods because plants are carbon. We're carbon beings. All right. And on that note, I hope you guys learned something on this lesson. Like you're doing all my lessons. And until we meet again, y'all be safe. Te luego, continuum Medea. Peace.